Ramblers! Fastlane. Fuck me. I really enjoyed it. Let me talk to you about it. I fucking really enjoyed it. I'm a very happy man. A very happy man. Let's just brush over the pre-show quickly. It was your standard average pre-show match with a handful of talent, apart from Mojo Rawley, who could be doing more. But let's not dwell on it. It was the Fashion Police teamed up with Ty Dillinger to take on American Alpha 2.0 and Mojo Rawley. I think we all know with the pre-show match who won. Obviously Ty got the pin over Mojo. I don't care for Mojo. I'm glad he took the fall, but I mean the rest of the guys they could be doing more. But I suppose if they're not going to be on the main card, put them on the pre-show, I suppose. But who gives a shit about the pre-show? Because I know that I don't. What I do care about is Fastlane, and I fucking loved it. I really did. It made up for the shit show that for me was Elimination Chamber. I sat and watched from start to finish, happy with all of it, in all honesty. My happiness varied. I was very happy at some points, and I was just happy at other points. And those other points I was really, really happy about. But let's start at the beginning. The first match was a treat. Rusev and Nakamura, and as I thought it would be, it was a really fun, good match. One thing I will say, I don't understand why WWE do this with the heel promo. When, like, for example, with Aiden English and Elias, they will, in the same promo, within less than a minute of each other, they will actively slag the town off. Like Aiden English's promo in his song, he mentioned he wants to get out of this town, or whatever generic thing to say, and then it won't be long until they then follow it up by letting the crowd interact with them, because Aiden English then said it's going to be pause to let the crowd sing Rusev Day. And then I don't understand that dynamic. It's like with Elias, he'll slag the town off, and then he'll ask who wants to walk with Elias, and then they'll. Who wants to walk with Elias? The crowd will say it with him. There'll be a pause. He'll say it again because he wants them to do it louder. So I don't understand. Maybe there's something I'm really missing, but that's just a side note. But the match was brilliant. A really good match. It took two King Shassers to take out Rusev. One to the back of the head, then he got back up. Nakamura hit him one into the front of his head. So, great match to start the show. Started good. Happy with the start. Rusev was always going to lose. Let's be honest. Everyone knew that. Moving swiftly on to a match I wasn't looking forward to, but in all honesty, it was a slow pace. I mean, it's Bobby Roode and Randy Orton. It was always going to be a slow paced match, but honestly, I sat there and really enjoyed it. And in the build-up, if you watch SmackDown weekly, there's been a lot of focus about it being this whole top 10 list bullshit. And in the video package before, they really emphasised that it was about the US title, and it made it seem so much better and much more plausible than a fucking top 10 list that was just there for 1 week. I mean, I was under the impression that top 10 list was going to be a weekly thing, which was fucking nonsense. But it was just a one shot. Here's a top 10. Let's move past it. But whatever. So the pre-show, not the pre-show, the video package to hype up the match, focusing around the US title, really bumped it up for me a little bit as well. But yeah, the match, I really enjoyed it. I don't know what to say. I was very pleasantly surprised, because my expectations for this were okay at best, as I think I said. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And there was no interference from Jinder at all. Well, during the match anyway. It was a clean win for Orton. Orton won. I probably should have started with that. But Orton won. I think this has been his payment for doing the job for Jinder so many times. I think. Apart from chucking a sing, of giving him the US title as well, which is, I suppose, fair enough. I think every now and again, I'm really happy. So I'm looking on the happy, positive side of things. Although the US titles are predominantly, well, it is a mid card title, should be held by mid carders. Every now and again, to boost the prestige of the title, it's nice to have a former multi-time top of the card world champion hold the title, I suppose. Just, for when the next guy takes it off him, they get a bit of a rub. Randy Orton's held it recently and all this. It's a shame Bobby Roode had to lose after winning it so quickly. In the past little what, the past few months, we've had the title won, vacated, a tournament for it, and then within a month or however long it's been, he's lost it. But never mind. Roode ended the show looking strong because Orton won. Jinder Mahal came down to the ring, tried to beat the snot out of Orton. Roode made the save, hit Jinder with the glorious DDT, followed by Randy Orton getting a glorious DDT, and game set match. Roode lost the match, but ended the segment looking strong. Also, obviously won the match looking good. I mean, the match, I really enjoyed the match. Like, it was slow paced, but that you'd expect. But I did really enjoy it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the focus a lot on it being about Bobby Roode's injured midsection, and Orton having a little bit of an injured midsection too, but mainly Roode. And then, they spent most of the match building that up, but then it was ended by an RKO out of nowhere, which I think it's still perfect, because that's the whole point of the RKO. It only takes one. It's hit from out of nowhere, despite the fact that Orton's game plan or strategy at that point was to work on Roode's midsection with suplexes and what have you, and things like that. But it ended with an RKO out of nowhere. Roode comes from, I think it's a top rope or wherever. It was a top rope, I think, and Orton just turns into an RKO. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So, figuratively, hats off to you, because I don't want to take it off because it'll mess me hair up. What was next? Oh, it was the women's tag, I think. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Oh, it was women's tag. Yeah, it was. Not really much to say about this. The team won who I thought would win, based on the just a 50-50 booking business, but it was a nothing match. But the fact that we started with a really good Rusev and Nakamura match, it was moved on. It was preceded by a much better US title match than I was anticipating. I've got to say, I enjoyed this women's match more than I thought I would. I mean, it was still only okay, but considering I didn't think it was even going to be that, I'm fine with it. There's not really much to say about it, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, the heels got the win. Natalya and Carmella got the win. So yeah, let's just move past it, shall we? And move on to the tag team match. And they told a really interesting story with this one. With this one, in fact, I've had a beer or a few, and that might have helped towards my enjoyment. But if you sit and enjoy a pay-per-view or a wrestling show, who gives a fuck I enjoy it? Let's be honest. Anyway, the story that they were telling here was the fact that they've wrestled each other so many times, they know each other so well that they can confidently do a robbing each other's moves, not just robbing a finisher. They were robbing, the signature moves as well. I mean, Uso started with, I think it was a Unicorn Stampede was what started it, which was pointed out by Byron Saxton, of all people. And then that moved on to the New Day stealing, fuck me. I think it was New Day doing super kicks all over the place, which is in WWE quite a Uso thing to do. And it was then followed. This isn't in order, but then the Usos were attempted the midnight, or successfully did the midnight hour, which was kicked out of. The New Day then did the Uso Splash, or whatever it's called. One of the Usos did the Kofi Kingston Boom Drop, and the Kofi Kingston did the Usos fucking running hip attack into the corner. It was just It was really good. It was something new they hadn't done before, but like I said, this wasn't the show stealer that I thought it would because of how it ended. And I don't know how I feel about how it ended because it was interrupted by the Bludgeon Brothers, but fuck me, it was one hell of a beating that they dished out. It wasn't. It seemed like a step up from the normal sort of interference attacks that they usually have to deal with. It was. I mean, they took a lot. I mean, not the Bludgeon Brothers, but the Usos and New Day took a lot of bumps on the outside, and like it was a good beatdown, brutal. Am I happy? I'm still. I've literally just finished watching it, so my brain hasn't quite finished processing how I think about a few things. But I suppose I didn't see it coming. I didn't dislike it, so I suppose with that logic, I enjoyed it. I suppose, but it wasn't bad at all. It was good. I think I enjoyed it. It was something different, I suppose, and my only worry, I suppose, is that it's going to lead to maybe a triple threat tag team match at Mania. And after seeing the US title maybe being triple threat as well. But hey, but I think with all three, I don't think it can't be that bad. They told the story that the fact that they had the beatdown, the Bludgeon Brothers walked off, and then then went to a video package about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar hyping that match up, and they came back to ringside, and the Usos and New Day were still sprawled out everywhere. That they still hadn't got up and recovered. So then they went to a backstage interview with AJ, and AJ's fucking dead serious. He's focused, and Nakamura comes up in his relaxed, jokey-ish way that he wants AJ to win, and AJ just shuts him down. Like, yeah, I'm winning, mate, but I'm fucking going to WrestleMania. I'm destroying you as well. I'm retaining my title at WrestleMania, whether you like it or not. A good promo, and then it came back to the ringside, and New Day and Usos were still fucking everywhere, licking the wounds, and the ref were carrying them all of them out, and Xavier Woods, who was powerbombed onto the ring steps, was being stretchered off, and Tom Phillips announced that what was it, a twisted spinal something or other, but yeah, basically Woods' fault, which I think, I don't see. Initially, when they said that, I thought, oh, that's so they could have just two of New Day represented at Mania, and with the other one being injured and not there. But I think that'd be really harsh for Woods to have to miss WrestleMania. So maybe make it so Woods is there, but he's just fucked, and he just physically can't wrestle. Because I think it'd be harsh for him to have to miss out on Mania. Obviously within the storyline, I mean, the landing onto the steps looked fine, but it was sold really. The whole thing was sold really well by all of them. So yeah, I think the more I talk about it, the more I think I actually enjoyed it. To be honest with you, sometimes you've got to voice your own opinions before you realise what your opinion is. I suppose sometimes. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So, like I said, so far so good. Everything's been better than I anticipated. The tag match itself wasn't as good as I think it could have been, but it was a nice little twist, something I hadn't seen before. And like I said, the beatdown was pretty brutal, so I enjoyed that. And we moved on to the women's one-on-one with Mrs. Ruby Riott and Charlotte Flair. The match was good. There was one really painful botch halfway through-ish. I forget what point of the match it was, but apart from that, it was a good match. Ruby Riott didn't come down with the right squad. The right squad appeared more. They appeared for the crowd towards the start of the match. It wasn't anywhere deeper than that. But my little pet peeve about the women division happened, and Becky and Naomi came running down to the ring to back Charlotte up. Oh, here comes Charlotte's back up, which I've made it clear. I don't like the fact that they've all got to have backup and all this fucking shit. I've got no time for that. But The Riot Squad had a little spot where Charlotte was in the corner, Ruby was beating on her, and the Riot Squad were on the outside, and they looked as if they were going to get into the ring. And Naomi and Becky saw this, and to cut them off, they physically got into the ring, which the ref saw, and he gave them the spinny fingers and chucked Becky and Naomi out of ringside, which looked like quite a clever move from the Riot Squad's part. Showed some nice, teamwork. But it wasn't. It was literally the next thing that happened. I think I forget exactly what happened. But literally the next thing that happened was that. Oh, excuse me. That the Riot Squad was seen, I think, attacking or attempting to attack Charlotte, and the ref chucked them out as well. So, but the match was good. I enjoyed it, and Charlotte got the win, and we saw Asuka, which I think everyone kind of had already predicted or has predicted / hoped for. I think. Although I didn't get my prediction of Carmella attempting to cash in, but never mind, that was a little bit a bit of a stretch anyway. But Asuka came down to the ring like dancing and calming like I thought she would. She got into the ring. She didn't say anything, but she just did it. She did some pointing like I advised. But she didn't say. I would have liked it if she said, you're not ready for Asuka. Really aim it, because it's about Charlotte. Aim it at Charlotte. But yeah, I mean, Charlotte versus Asuka. That could be an incredible WrestleMania match. It really could. But yeah, good enough match with Ruby. I mean, Ruby Riott and Charlotte, apart from that one little, biggish botch, really good match. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't think. Ruby Riott still look good. So, obviously, the build now is Oscar and Charlotte. I don't know what they'll do with the rest of the women. If they'll have, that might be a stretch. I was just about to say maybe they'll have a women's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, perhaps. I don't know. I wasn't going to say it, but because it sounded a bit silly when I say it out loud. But there's a lot of other women on the roster that aren't doing anything. At the minute, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Sasha, and Ruby Riott. So, but anyway, I'm trying not to go off on one. I'm trying to stay focused on what I want to talk about. So yeah, that women's match was really good. Like I said, up to now, really enjoyed the show. Like, I sat happily, captivated watching it. The main event, you knew some shit was going to go down because the first person to come out was Shane McMahon. And Daniel Bryan wasn't there. It was claimed because it was some family event or something. So Shane comes to ringside, so you know that some shit's going to happen. And fuck me, did it happen, but we'll get to it. The entrances were the same as always, but the only little thing to note is the fact that Kevin Owens' entrance, before everyone up until this point had entrance, same old shtick, got into the ring. But Kevin Owens didn't even make it halfway down the ramp before Sami Zayn's entrance interrupted him. Which I thought was a nice little dig, just a little something. And I like that. And then the match starts, and the first thing of note is everybody goes for John Cena one at a time, and John Cena, everybody apart from Styles, because everyone runs into Cena. Cena's in the middle, everyone runs into him one at a time, and he just cashes them into an AA. God damn it! And apart from AJ Styles feigns to run at him, but stops himself and is like, "Yeah, I'm not fucking stupid, John. I'm AJ fucking Styles." But the match just fucking brilliant. Really was really, really good. Well, I don't want to end up going over every single thing that happened, but the big things, I suppose, were when it spilled to the outside. Sami Zayn was having a pop at Shane. Before that, Sami Zayn did lie down for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was very hesitant to make the cover, but as Kevin Owens I think went to pick Sami Zayn up, Sami Zayn like counted it into a roll up, and Kevin Owens was furious. So, but I think we all kind of saw that coming. But it was still a nice touch. But anyway, it spilled out to the outside. Kevin Owens, Sami took KO out, and Sami was having a pop at Shane. Is this what he wanted and all that business? And KO comes storming in an attempt to give Sami Zayn a super kick. Zayn dodges it. Kevin Owens kicks Shane right in the face. It looked fucking brilliant. And it was followed by Sami Zayn doing one of them like from the outside between the turnbuckle tornado DDT things that looked really good. And at one point, it looked like Kevin Owens was going to get the win. And Kevin Owens pop-up powerbombs. I think it was Dolph Ziggler. I'm pretty sure it was. And the rest counting 1, 2. Before it gets to 3, Shane pulls the ref out of the ring. He's like, "He kicked me. No, I'm not having it." And Kevin Owens is doing his nut. In the meantime, because Shane's gone back to sit down in his little seat, and KO's walks to the corner, and he's still in the ring, but he's walking into the corner, shouting at Shane. And Sami Zayn comes storming in and boots him in the face. I'll leave the kick, similar to the SmackDown situation. And 1, 2, and Shane pulls Sami Zayn off of Kevin Owens, breaking the pinfall up. So, I mean, the only downside, I suppose, is the fact that we are probably guaranteed a Shane McMahon match at WrestleMania. Another one. But yeah, I don't want to think about that because I don't want to put it down on what I thought was a really good show and that I really enjoyed. But it ended with AJ Styles getting the win over Kevin Owens. Cena was victim of a pop-up powerbomb. The ending was Cena was victim of a pop-up powerbomb. As Kevin Owens got back up, AJ Styles comes flying in because AJ was taken out by AA through the announce table by Johnny Boy. But Cena, gets a pop-up. He rolls out the ring, and as Kevin Owens gets up, AJ Styles comes jumping in. Phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3, and I lost my shit because I really enjoyed the match. Really happy with the ending. I was a bit outside. I mean, there's a little. Corbin had a few good spots in the match. You know that deep six he does. He did that against AJ Styles, and I think he got a record amount of revolutions in it. He looked fucking brilliant. And he delivered another move to somebody else as well, I think. I forget what it was. But yeah, good enough. And he had a little spot with Ziggler on the outside in the fans where he charged him through some barricade. That's not the usual barricade. It was a high level. Oh, excuse me. Fuck, how unprofessional of me. But they all. I mean, the only thing is it leaves, Corbin and Ziggler sort of doing, with not much direction. But they shouldn't have really been in the match anyway. So I don't know what more you want. I mean, everyone, KO and Sami Zayn are left with something. Zayn is left with nothing, which is something in the storyline that he's involved in. So obviously AJ Styles is left with everything. But as a whole, I fucking loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I complain a lot about WWE and how they do things and some decisions to make, but when they get it right, you got to say fair play to them. And I sat happily, watched this, and really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my literal reaction. I've literally just finished watching it. I thought I'd do this. So let me know what you think. Happy with the match? With any of the matches? Did you like them all? Did you dislike them all? Let me know in the comments. Like I say, give me a thumb in a direction. Give me a thumb in. Write me some words, and join the Jobber Club. Goodbye.